Hey, 7th graders, Mr. Howard again with another one of your flip lessons. This one should be an easy peasy one. Everybody should be, I think this is out of 8 points. Everyone should be getting an 8 out of 8 on this one. We're talking about patriots versus loyalists. Who is most likely to be a patriot? Who is most likely to be a loyalist? You should have number 53 on page 53 cut out and put in your interactive notebook. Right like this. This looks like a completed one. That's what it should look like. Take your notes in each of the bubbles below. Here we go. Let's get out of this. Go here. Oh, PowerPoint's not up. There we go. Okay. How to present you. There we go. Ooh, get me out of the picture here. Alright, so one of the things we talk about with these groups is there's going to be members of each type of class in each group. So there's going to be rich people that were patriots, rich people that were neutral, rich people that were loyalists in each and every group. So we have to kind of go and look what was the kind of fine-tuning things that made some rich people a patriot, a loyalist, or a neutral. Same thing with middle class, same thing with lower class, all right? So the number one thing with patriots is at the end of the day, there was some benefit for them for becoming a free and independent country. So they believed America should be free. Could be a political gain, could be an economic gain, could be a social gain of some sort that they felt they would get by getting rid of Britain. All right. Many different groups were involved in this group. However, most of the kind of the soldiers on the ground and kind of the people that were actually fighting for independence skewed mostly young. All right. Many people were farmers. They were the biggest group just simply because that was the biggest group in the colonies. Many were wealthy merchants who thought, economically, we might be better off being able to trade with Spain and France than just England. Might be able to get better prices. And a lot of people who were middle class, who were seeking to make that jump into the upper class, felt that they could do that if England wasn't controlling their economy, their social lives, their political lives. Another thing that kind of brought them all together was this disapproval of British taxes. And again, not necessarily because the taxes were so expensive, simply because that no taxation without representation. These were people that were involved in colonial government. These were people that were involved in colonial politics that had been working in the assemblies to try to make things better in the colonies and felt, look, we can do this at the colonial level. We can kind of run this, our show as our own country. Ooh, let me get out of the neutral picture. Anyone who's neutral is not going to pick a side. So when you think of neutral, think not pick a side. Okay? These are many different groups. Again, people that were rich, middle class, there were farmers that were neutral. But at the end of the day, they did not see a clear reason for independence. Maybe, it might help them, but if it doesn't work out, it might hurt them. They may have, other family members that are connected to England, some family members that are they're kind of stuck in the middle a little bit. But something economically, social, politically, it wasn't a clear set win for the colonies to be free from England for members in the neutrals. All right, so no clear reason for independence. Many of these people did not pay clear attention to current events. People along the frontier, it takes a long time for news to get out there, so they might not have heard of all the issues happening in Boston, or if they did hear the issues happening in Boston or other places in the colonies, maybe that didn't pertain to somebody, living on the frontier in Iroquois territory or living on the frontier in Pennsylvania or something like that. So they didn't feel that connection to the larger movement. They didn't really see any huge benefit from being free England, but they didn't see any big benefit from change either. So these were groups that kind of would stay right in the middle and not kind of go to one side or the other. We got wit. Loyalist group, okay? So again, your loyalists, these are people that were sticking to England, that believed the colonies, economically, social, and politically, the best thing for them was to stick with the mother country, stick with the king, stick with Parliament, all right? These people tended to be mostly older. They tended to be conservative, meaning they didn't really like change. They liked things to kind of stay the same, etc. They had some sort of economic, social, political tie to England. Maybe their job had to do with England. Maybe they were a tax collector. Maybe they were kind of were the people that looked over the ports. Maybe they were something that connected back to England. Maybe they were enrolled or became part of the English military. Maybe they had a lot to do. Their business had a lot to do with England and kind of got a lot of money from England. Maybe they came over and they were a governor or of a colony or some sort of political entity that had ties back to England and back to the Parliament and things like that. Another group that tended to sway to the loyalist side are going to be the slaves and Native Americans, because England went to both groups and said, you know what, particularly to African American slaves, England was kind of in the country itself, the abolitionist movement was kind of coming together there. And in actuality, England is going to ban slavery and ban the trade of slavery much before America is. Another group was Native Americans. The loyalists in England is going to these Native American groups and saying, if you fight with us, if you help us defend, if should something happen, we will protect your land, right? They already did the proclamation of 1763. In actuality, about a third of the Native American groups are going to split up. There's going to be about a third neutral, about a third loyalist, and about a third that are going to fight with the Patriots. And it's actually going to split the Iroquois nation up. Some of the Iroquois nation are going to remain loyal with Britain. Some of them are going to go to the American colonists. Another big group is going to be your church members. So your people that are still kind of members of the Church of England, that Anglican Church, they are going to remain very, very loyal to the King and the Parliament. All right, there you have it. That's our flip lesson for tonight. Make sure you took some time, answered those questions, making sure we're getting a 100 on this to boost that grade. If you have any questions for me, please send me a message on Schoology. If it's a question you think the entire class may be able to help you with, post that message on an update on our Schoology page, and somebody will get back to you because people should be using that tonight. All right, take it easy.